living to perpetrate, cause this 38 will be designated for all those who hate it like a test. Man, I contemplated. Your moves you lose, now your hot you gave me. New moves, more dudes, now the top you made me. Same rules, new crews, now the clutch you made me. Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. I'm Van.
I'm JoJo.
And we are all the LFR family. And if you're not already with the LFR family, I'm going to need for you to hit that subscribe button right there, Jack. Go and hit that thing. Also, look below this video and you'll see we have merch. If you copy yourself something and provide us with some proof, we'll look out for you too. We'll do a merch request reaction just for you, and we'll add a personalized shout out on it as well. All right, guys. A lot of people have been telling me to check out Eminem's song called Untouchable because they've been saying that it's relevant to the times. I honestly never listened to Untouchable, but I do remember people making fun of Untouchable almost as if Eminem should have not touched it and stayed in his lane, almost as if the subject itself was untouchable. So we about to check this joint out, man.
Remix or something?
Nah, it's not a remix. It's an original. It's his joint that he made up. So we about to check this joint out, man. Let's do it.
Black boy, we ain't gonna lie to you. Black boy, we don't like the sight of you. Pull up on the side of you, window roll down profile, then we wonder why we see the side of you.
All the lyrics are like it's social media.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And then he said, black boy, we don't like the sight of you.
This is relevant to today because a lot of people are arguing on social media about whether or not the cops are right or George was right, or are people right for looting, or people right for rioting.
Yeah, man.
So this is very relevant.
This is really relevant. And then he said, pull up on the side of you. We see your profile. We don't like the side of you. Your profile from the side view is the side of you when the profile, when the police pull up beside you and they start to profile people that came from what they do when they pull up beside certain people. I like that.
The roll down profile, then we wonder why we see the side of you. Probably coming from the dope house. We can let you slide, but your tail light is blue. Out. We know you're hiding that Heidi Klum on you. Another drug charge, homie. It's back inside for you. And just in case the chase might us, so we got the trident, two pistols drew right at you. We'd be delighted to unload it in your back and walk up and lay that taser on the side of you. Fucked up, but what the fuck am I to do?
See, this is what I don't like about people, bro, because I remember the people saying black boy, and this was around the time where I was listening to what's that show with academics and Joe Budden and another girl on the joint before Joe Budden got his new podcast.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was listening to that joint when this came out, and they was making fun of it. So I never even went to go listen to it. That just shows how the internet can like encourage you or discourage you, sway you from thinking a certain type of way. So I did that, man. I didn't even go listen to it after that because they was like, man, he reaching, he clout chasing. He don't understand, but he trying to make a song about it so that he can grab a certain audience. This right here sounds like somebody who's been paying attention. This sounds like somebody who's been paying attention, man. There we go.
On the side of you, fucked up, but what the fuck am I to do? I keep telling myself, keep doing like you're doing. No matter how many lives you ruin, it's for the red, white, and blue. Time to go find a new one and split his head right in two. No one's ever indicted you. Why? Cause you're a white boy, you're a rock star. White boy, in your cop car. I don't listen to it cause my head is like a sieve. White boy, you're untouchable. Nobody can tell me shit cause I'm a big rock star. Black boy, we don't get your culture and we don't care what our government's done to fuck you over, man.
Like, this reminds me of like, when he said white boy untouchable. It reminds me, someone tweeted something. I don't even get on Twitter that much. But it was a screenshot sent in a group chat at me. And it said, it was from a white teenage boy or like a young adult. He said white men ended slavery. White men allow women to vote. white men. He said white men. He said white privilege doesn't exist. He said why? He said why?
Was this person talking was white or black?
It was a white guy, and it had 27,000 retweets.
I would only assume, this is me, I would assume, and this is me trying to think positively for the other side, I would assume that most of them retweets was retweet. Can you believe what this mother effer is saying down here? Or was it a retweet? This is true. Y'all need to pay attention to him.
It said, I assume most of them were, this is true. But that's just what they honestly think, though.
That's crazy, man. All right, that's wild, man. That's wild. That's wild. That's wild, man.
Culture and we don't care what our government's done to fuck you over, man. Don't tell us your attitudes are results of that. Roll the dash when you get the chip on your shoulder ad. Why you kicking that soda can? Pull your pants up, we about to roll a band. Throw your ass in the band car. You don't have to know our plans or what.
He said we about to roll up and throw your ass up in the van cuffed. And when me and my friends was growing up, something we used to like to do is throw stuff at the police, cars, and get chased by people just so we can get locked up together. And I mean, just to see how it was. But now it's such an issue. I mean, it's like we was ignorant as hell, not realizing that we didn't even have to do that in order to be thrown in the back of a paddy wagon. That's what we used to call it, a paddy wagon. Wow.
About to roll a band, throw your ass in the band car. You don't have to know our plans or what our intentions are. Our cards are close to our chest. You better show your hands and put our minds more.
He said, you better show your hands. And he was showing a whole bunch of like Vegas cards and chips, you know, like show your hands like you done already dealt it. You done paid already and you done already bet your cards and whatnot. Now it's time to show your hands. That was a pretty clever bar right there. All right, there you go.
Show your hands and put our minds more at ease. You get shot in the thyroid, comply or die, boy. We're fighting the crime war. Here come the swine, trying to clean up the streets from all these minorities. That's what we call them pigsties for. They're like eyesores, the police. Talk to like you're just a piece of trash. Feels like we're stuck in a time warp to me. As I kick these facts and get these mixed reactions. As this beat backspins, it's like we're drifting back in to the 60s. Having black skin is risky, cause this keeps happening. Throughout history, African Americans have been.
Time out. Are these real tweets, man? Are these real tweets?
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I hope not.
How are they rhyming in their tweets?
Yeah, this is something. Okay. All right.
Black skin is risky cause this keeps happening. Throughout history, African Americans have been treated like shit, and I admit there have been times where it's been embarrassing to be a white boy, you're a rock star. White boy, in your cop car. White boy, you're untouchable. Nobody can tell me shit cause I'm a Seems like the average lifespan of a white man is more than twice than a black lifespan. I wonder sometimes if it has a price scanner. I feel like checking out on life can escape this circumstance. I'd rather hear him say die inward than die antward. Ninja, now it's better disguised banter, but that's life. Strapped cause we're strapped by.
Who is Die Antwoord? You know who Die Antwoord is? I need to, y'all let me know in the comments below, man. I need to know what that is. I really need to know what that is. All right, let go.
And escape this circumstance. I'd rather hear him say die inward than die antward. Ninja, now it's better disguised banter, but that's life. Strapped cause we're strapped financially and can't find answers. We're applying, but McDonald's seems to be the only franchise that'll hire, so how can we have higher standards? As Dallas overshadows the battle for Black Lives Matter. We fight back with violence, but acts like that. Black eyes on the movement, which makes Black Lives Matter. At cops, and cops matter, that's why it's at a stalemate.
Wow!
Yeah, that was tough.
which makes black lives matter. We fight back with violence, but act like that our black lives on a movement which makes black lives matter. And that just makes cops matter. So we're trying to be represented properly, and that just pissed them off because we want more than they're willing to give.
It's like something like this happens every few years.
It seems like it, man. But I think we've reached a tipping point, man. I think we've reached a tipping point, man. I think that's what's going on right now. A revolt usually represents the tipping point.
We need a reform in how cops are like taught to handle certain situations.
So much will have to happen, bro.
But we're not gonna get one with Trump in office.
Nah, man. So much will have to happen. All right, let's go.
We fight back with violence, but acts like that. Black eyes on the movement, which makes black lives matter. At cops, and cops matter, that's why it's at a stalemate and can't arrive at a compromise, so it's black cops. I wonder if we hire more black cops, the crap stops. The block is our backyards, officers, not the crack spot. Call the attack dogs off of us, man, you always act all pissed off at us at a traffic stop. And bad cops fuck it up for the good cops, and man, stop sending white cops in the black neighborhoods who ain't acclimated to them like that's the way to do it. Who seen some fucking videos of rappers waving guns and know nobody black, so they act afraid of us. And that's racism, the fear that a black face gives them, a subconscious racist. Wait, why are there black neighborhoods?
He's actually playing this beat.
I think that's tight. And then they just now show Crooked Al, who's part of Slaughterhouse, just now dancing to the song, you know, listening to the joint, just vibing to it. It looked like he was on live smoking a cigar while he was doing it. That's pretty cool, man. But what he's saying, man, is so freaking true, man.
Why do they send white cops in black neighborhoods?
I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't damn know.
They already don't know what goes on in those neighborhoods.
You know, I just now seen a video today of the George Floyd joint when an ambulance finally pulled up to the scene. You know who got out the back of the ambulance? Police. Police got out the back of the ambulance. They didn't even send real EMTs, emergency. What do they call them? EMTs. They ain't send real EMTs to the spot. Like the police was like, man, he already done. We need to protect our guys. They hopped out of there and threw him on the back of a gurney and put him in the back of the ambulance. The two cops. It wasn't no EMTs.
They don't care.
They don't care, man. That's what this revolt is about, man. It's wow. Oh, Lord. All right, let's finish this joint off, man. M is smart, bro. All right, let's...
Videos of rappers waving guns and know nobody black, so they act afraid of us. And that's racism, the fear that a black face gives them, a subconscious racist. Wait, why are there black neighborhoods? Cause America segregated us, designated us to an area, separated us, sectionated us when we tear it up. The only time attention's paid to us, and education sucks, and every day's another Freddie Gray for us. A levee breaks a buzz. Why is it they treat us like dry island? We just want a safe environment for our kids, but can't escape the sirens. Don't take a scientist to see our violent nature lies in the poverty that we face, so the crime rates the highest in the lowest classes. It's like a
That's why the fuck they call it a project, man. They put us in a place, they Section 8 us, put us in an area that has no resources, no good jobs, no good schools, and then wonder why people start climbing on top of each other to do whatever in order to survive. Why people start picking poisons in order to deal with life. Alcohol, drugs. It's all a project. That's why they call it the projects.
That's sad. Same thing with school systems.
Yeah.
They give you the worst educations. Then surprised why you don't know what's going on. Or surprised why you can't get to a certain college. And then college is even worse. You get into the college, you can't even afford to go.
Yeah.
So you go to a smaller college that has less resources, so you don't learn. It's all a cycle.
It's all a cycle, man. And they
you
know
end
what the
up
hell
back
they're
in the
doing.
projects because you can't afford to get anywhere else with your degree. Like it's just a cycle.
You be in a degree. You be back in the projects with a bachelor's degree, and now you don't work. You don't only work at McDonald's, but you manage McDonald's.
Then they won't even hire you once you get like
It's
a cycle.
It's a crazy cycle, man. M hitting on a lot of points on this joint, man. Let's go.
Why is it they treat us like dry land?
They treat us
We
like
just
dry.
want a safe environment for our kids, but can't escape the sirens. Don't take a scientist to see our violent nature lies in the poverty that we face. So the crime rates the highest in the lowest classes. It's like a razor wire fence that we're trapped in. These racial biases that plague our society, which makes our anxiety levels raised every time we see a devil's face. Lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. It's more like billy clubs and gats. And we really love it when you think we're guilty cause we're black. But you kill each other, facts, you peel each other's caps for silly stuff like hats. Single mothers struggling through substance abuse, while people with nothing to lose shoot each other for shoes. Fuck your Republican views, pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, what a fuck.
Wow. People with nothing to lose shoot each other for shoes. For the new Michael Jordan to come out.
I hate when people use that argument that black people kill black people to justify a cop killing a black person.
Yeah. They kill each other more in their own communities. So do white people in poor white communities. They're part of the projects too. Because guess what? After it goes from racism, it goes to classism. And if you don't meet the class...
And then when black people do meet a high level of class, when they make it through everything, they're looked at as ignorant. Like rappers, they're looked at as ignorant. I don't know how much.
It's like, what can you do?
We don't even know how much these rappers make, but when we see a black man with chains or a Lamborghini, we assume he's financially illiterate.
Wow.
So.
Wow, man. Whew. All right, let's go. And he got peel each other caps. Got the top of the Pepsi cap. On a bottle, Pepsi bottle, got the caps. Okay, let's go. And then it's still red, white, and blue. I get that because that represents the country. Everything about this joint, man. All right, let's go.
For silly stuff like hats. Single mothers struggling through substance abuse, while people with nothing to lose shoot each other for shoes. Fuck your Republican views, pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. What the fuck are the boots? And streets actors.
Man, I hate when they say that. They need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. I hate when politicians say that, man. Pull yourself up by when I did it, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps. Knowing that they was born in money, they was born in privilege, and the only thing they had to do was apply themselves just a little bit. Just a little bit. He said, you telling us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps? All right, well, at least give us some boots. Help us a little bit. This right here tells me that Eminem is not clout chasing at all. In order to put out a song like this, you have to have a certain level of understanding of what a culture is going through. You can't put out a song like this and be this on point and not know what's going on.
Nothing to lose, shoot each other for shoes. Fuck your Republican views, pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. What the fuck are the boots? And streets act as a narrator. Don't gotta read comics or be that into characters. Just to see that, just to be black, you better be strapped with a Derringer or be Captain America like Steve Rogers. Cause no one oversees these cops and all we see is some beat charges. We done seen them beat.
He said, cause no one oversees these cops.
Who's the boss of the cops? Donald Trump?
Well, it starts off by the city and the state. The state is responsible, and then they have another jurisdiction over top of that. So every state pretty much tell their cops how to operate. Yeah, every state tell their cops how to operate, and then from this, if you need federal regulations on top of that, then that'll happen. But most times it's state regulated.
Most politicians are basically the same person in a different body.
Right, exactly. Exactly. It's like a franchise. It's like if I want to run a McDonald's, which are politicians, if I want to run a McDonald's, they're going to give me the blueprint of the exact same burger to use, the exact same way to make the burgers, how many people I need, how much to sell them. That's what they do to politicians. All these politicians say, I'm going to do things my way. I'm going to change things. I'm going to get things done. And they be laughing at you like,
It's
okay.
like how Congress, they wouldn't let Obama, like, the stuff, half the stuff he wanted to get done couldn't get done. Congress, but Donald Trump gets in office and he can do most of everything he wants.
That's because he already knew from the gate that, what y'all gonna do to me? You can't punish the president. You can't do anything to the president. So when I decide to do something, it gets done. They was like, oh, you can't fire him. Trump was like, hold my beer. He was like, shit, watch this. You fired. He firing people that never been fired ever in American history. All right, let's finish this, man. This joint is on point, man. All right, let's go.
Act as a narrator. Don't gotta read comics or be that into characters. Just to see that, just to be black, you better be strapped with a Derringer or be Captain America like Steve Rogers. Cause no one oversees these cops and all we see is some beat charges. We done seen them beat Rodney King unconscious and got off. So we don't need all you crooked police officers' peace offerings. Just keep marching till we reach Congress. But they're gonna say you're trying to take an irrational stance if you try to slander the flag. But somebody has to be the sacrificial lamb, so they call it a Kaepernick tantrum if you don't stand.
Wow.
Call it Kaepernick.
Somebody has to be the sacrificial lamb. So they call it a Kaepernick tantrum.
America was more upset about him kneeling than they were about George Floyd. That's crazy.
See, you wasn't here during the time of Rodney King. You ever heard anybody say when they're on a TV show or a movie or something, and they say, "Can't we all just get along?" Have you ever heard that before?
That's the dumbest phrase I've ever heard.
Well, that came from the whole Rodney King thing. He got his ass beat by the police in front of everybody. It wasn't a whole bunch of camera phones. Wasn't that back in the day, but it was on tape. Everybody was standing out there and he was like, "Can't we all just get along?" Bruh. But this, man, I applaud Eminem for this one. I applaud him for this one, man. All right, let's go.
Till we reach Congress. But they're gonna say you're trying to take an irrational stance if you try to slander the flag. But somebody has to be the sacrificial lamb, so they call it a Kaepernick tantrum if you don't stand for the national anthem. We raise it, you better praise it, or you'll be made to feel like a traitor will. Treat you like Rodney Dangerfield, home of the bravest still, Racersville. So this whole nation feels like a plantation field in a country that claims that its foundation was based on United States ideals that had its natives killed. Got you singing this star-spangled spiel to a piece of cloth that represents a land of the free that made people slaves to build.
God damn, that was whew. You know what? I'm happy that you sat down and watched this with me, man. This.
You the high button?
I keep telling my kids, man, Eminem's a goddamn genius,
It's
bro.
just ironic. It's called the land of the free.
The land of the free was stolen. We stole it and named it the land of the free.
We were forced to come here.
Not only that, it was stolen from a people, the natives. It was stolen from the natives, and then the people who built this nation were people who was stolen from another country. But it's free. It's the land of the free. No, it's our land it's our free.
Oh, it's their freedom.
It's our free. And when we say freedom, it's our freedom. God damn it. So when you hear people say make America great again, they want it back in the times where people wasn't revolting, where people was doing what they goddamn was told, where people didn't have any rights. Huh? When people didn't have any rights. Even when white women didn't have any rights. It's not about even other See, that's the thing people don't understand, man. It's not only about racism. It's about power. Who had the power? The white man had the power in this country. And they wanted all power. They oppressed their own women because they didn't want them to, they didn't feel like they were at a point where they can run the show. Just like right now. I don't foresee us getting a white woman president. I don't foresee us getting a woman president unless
We
a
just
woman
got a black
become a
president.
vice president of somebody, of a woman become a vice president of a man who's old as hell. He end up dying, and then she become president by default. That's what I see. That's how I look at it. So that's why this right here is definitely on point, man. Shout out to Eminem for making this Untouchable song. And all of the people who clowned him and just was calling him a clout chaser just for putting this information out there. Bro, this is more than just being a clout chaser. You cannot have all of this information right here and it resonates so deep to the culture that you're talking to, and you're not even of that culture, and you still be labeled a clout. No, anybody who said that are haters. Period. I really enjoyed this joint, and want to know why I enjoyed it? I enjoyed it. How I know I enjoyed it? I enjoyed it because I know I'm pissed right now, and I really like to stay away from these type of topics, to be honest with you. But anyway, I want to hear what y'all got to say in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed already, please be sure to do so on your way out the door. Once again, I am Van.
I'm JoJo.
And we are all the LFR family. We'll see y'all on the next one, all right? Peace.